DJ Jones holding it down at 1027 Mazorodze. Nasi chipiri kamnongo zakana chiri chipiri. Tetsiri muno mtaundi tichikwera makusenoga oga chichitamba nevanyori. Today network though was not cooperating the way we would have wanted it to cooperate, but nonetheless I hope you enjoyed the music interlude and it managed to drive you all the way to work and to your office. You and I have shared stories about grief. I've shared with you the experience I had when I lost my brother as he was turning 18 on his birthday, and you've also come through and shared stories. And I think you might already recognize this name because he was a part of Zim Papers. In about 8 minutes, saying come down Charles Mushinga is the name, and he just disappeared. And he disappeared and he moved to the UK. Lo and behold, Valeria from our digital team, it's a must read, and it was written by, guess who? Charles Mushinga. And he wrote this book after he had gone through tragedy in his life. But I want us to park that conversation for today and talk about actually his moving to the UK. Those are two Capital 100.4 FM Harare, but you also have had experiences moving outside the country. And sometimes the assumption is, what could possibly go wrong, right? You're moving to what may seem like greener pastures. You think you're going to be able to buy the house much easier with mortgage, send your kids to schools you might not necessarily have been easily able to afford to send them here. You just think it's greener pastures. And yet sometimes, until you get there, you have no idea that the grass isn't always greener. Charles, it's so lovely to have you come back. Do you come to Zim often?
This is my second time in 3 years.
Wow.
First it was for the funeral. Well, it ended up being for the funeral, but I was due to travel here 10 days after that tragedy. So I ended up coming on the day she died.
Yeah.
But then we started planning back then after the funeral. We knew this August is going to be big because the children will be on holiday and would need to have the tombstone unveiling. So yeah, this was planned, but it's the first time we've come with the whole family.
And this funeral we're talking about is actually the inspiration behind the book we were going to be talking about, which we will. I Still Dream of My Mother, written by Charles Mushinga. He's a writer, and I don't believe there's such a thing as former journalist. He is a journalist who's transitioned into something else. But I think that's what one of the hardest things, Charles, about moving abroad, is that time seems to stop. Life and sometimes it's not always as easy to connect with what's happening home, such as the loss of your mother.
That is true, and you kind of want to turn back time and say, I wish I had been there for these 2 years that she was alive and I was not there. So it's really difficult to be on that note. So when I got back here to be seeing my mother in a coffin, it kind of made me regret going to the UK, to be honest, because I missed 2 years of a perfect woman's life. No, she was only sick for 3 days. I thought I was going to see her in 10 days after that day. And we had asked, what do you want? She said, nothing much. And that's how it happened. That's why I had to write, because I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
So I had to put it on paper. From the day I was on the plane coming here, I was writing in my phone and sobbing the whole 16 hours of the journey.
Yeah. And this is how you wrote the book.
Yeah, that's how I wrote the book. Each other emotion created a new poem, a new piece of writing, until it became worthy of a book. I'm glad, it ended well as far as grieving is concerned. I'm in a better place than I was soon after she died.
But iyo nyaya yekufigwa nekuchema nemagwadzo anosangana patofigwa paya I think there was a part of us that assumed that grieving or mourning someone you love is it's a 5-step to be done in a year. After a year you should be fine. And yet grief, the process of getting to a place of learning to live with someone that you love, learning to live without someone that you love, can be 5, can be 10 years, as long as you're not stagnant in a place, because it's someone angari munhu koyo mainya kutumbura. Here you are vatova nezvizukuru zvavo zvakazora makazoudza kuti hakuchina mbuya nezvizukuru ibvi vava nazvo, and now having to process life without it completely.
It's really difficult, and you get to ask so many questions, and I think the answer to what you have been talking about is grief is permanent. If you truly love the person, grief is permanent. Now, because it's permanent, it can actually destroy you.
Wow.
Like for me, I went through a period of months where I lacked motivation to do anything else with my life, because I realized I've always been mommy's baby. Only after she died, but oh my goodness, everything I was achieving, I was doing it for this woman. Now I don't care if I don't achieve anything anymore. And that was dangerous. And this book is just about explaining how to come out of that danger.
You would think kuti kana tava vanhu vakuru kakufigwa rufu rungaro mubereki romuzukuru must actually get better, or that we have a better grasp of what loss looks like. And it seems like it's opposite. Also, as I'm getting older, I'm also starting to see that what if any of my parents suddenly died, or even if they're terminally ill, but the fact that they're no longer there, you would think grief should get better for us as humans with age, but it really doesn't. The idea of loss, rufu
rwakaoma, is the most difficult thing to deal with in life, and it's probably the most unfair thing in life as well. Why do people have to die? Especially if you grow a bond with a person and then they end up just gone. So that book is just complaining about all those things.
So Charles and I have lots of conversations to have, and in fact he becomes the perfect person to tell us about what life must be like moving overseas and how they adjust. We were going to do his book I Still Dream of His Mother, and we certainly still will. For now, let's catch the news at 10, and you and I will catch up right after the news.